included as we took to the streets to revel in paradise.
Yeah! We love Tobago Carnival!
Tobago! It's such a nice place!
Tobago Carnival, we're right here. We're not leaving it, we go right down.
It's the greatest, it's the best, it's safe, and it's beautiful.
I love Tobago, baby. Coming back next year. Hey!
Playing pan on the streets is a magical experience. When the band strike up, is rhythm, steel and powder. This is Tobago Carnival, pan in paradise.
Tobago is the best.
Tobago Carnival is the new home for the legend of Calypso. Where else can you get sweet Calypso music that gives you that nostalgic feeling?
Soca Titans is we title, is we monarch. We built artists from scratch who can perform with the best. Real titans of soca.
When last you've been to a party, plenty women looking so nice. We must be in paradise.
This year, ritual takes on new space and dimension. Traditions will be reimagined, breaking free and taking on new meaning on the road.
I love the energy!
This year, the revelry is bigger and better. More colors, more meaning, great packages for the masqueraders. Tobago Carnival is freedom.
This year promoting safety in all events for Tobago Carnival. This year promoting whining, not minding people business. This year promoting clean fun, security and freedom.
Freedom to be any version of yourself that you choose to be with love and safety. Here, you have permission to be you, uninhibited and free.
So what you waiting on? This year, this October 2024, experience the ritual, revel in paradise, release yourself. From the greatest little island on the planet, this is the Tobago Carnival 2024.
You're viewing Tobago Updates Television, your exclusive gateway to Tobago, broadcasting the beauty of this island paradise to the world.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
thing about this thing, you know. Somebody had to bring back the balance, you know, eh? Yo, Sash.
Okay, what go on, buddy?
You ain't see the way the streets in Trinbago I get bloody.
Shots not ringing out here, dog. My daughter trying to study, and on news before news, it's 2 more dead bodies.
Things are heading downhill, I like it, don't intend to stop. Now my son no sure to come back if I send him to the shop.
There was another pandemic, how the bodies them a drop, cause every other get a youth trap.
For real.
Sometimes I feel like the new music bring badness back in style. Place full of fully dance, man, woman and child.
I wonder if it's cause the people them not hear us for a while. The whole country I get filed, but we fed up of the boom, fed up of the bang, fed up of the warrings, fed up of the gangs, fed up of the violence. Time it fi stop. Time fi bring the country back.
Fed up of the boom, fed up of the bang, fed up of the warring, fed up of the gangs, fed up of the violence. Time it fi stop. Time fi bring the country back. Hey, you see the news last night, Sash?
King man a ball.
Hold on, I feel like I didn't see it to the call.
Voila!
See, what go on, brothers? Well, I see 2 great ones calling me. To what do I owe the honors?
Ziggy boy, we trying to reach them youths them on the corners.
Them who giving up the ghost, calling themselves all kind of numbers.
No feeds them in the streets, belly balling out for younger. Till somebody asks them, what team you rocking under?
And them youths lost, and they started when they small.
All the watch vibe now, dog. Let King David trying to call. Yo, David.
Go far right when me know true, but Brett, you know, telling me shots busting up by you.
Dan, and up to now, me need a single siren. Yo, switch the video, they and I call with Ziggy and King.
Serious?
Oh, brother.
It's like a meeting call to order.
Oh, David, nah man, we just happen to link each other.
Well, I don't feel that this just happen. I think now is the time for us to free the youth, them mind. Can we fed up of the boom, fed up of the bang, fed up of the warring, fed up of the gangs, fed up of the violence. Time it fi stop.
Good morning and welcome to the morning show on Tobago Updates Television. It is Tuesday, 6th August 2024 and we're coming to you live from the Port Mall here in Scarborough, Tobago. I am Adana Kumbi and yes, we are fed up of the violence, fed up of the gangs, and you know enough is enough in our sweet island of Tobago. And this is a call of course for all agencies to come together to deal with the situation that is at hand, a call for all of us as members of the community of Tobago to come together to support the fight against crime. We're going to continue having conversations here in this studio. We're going to continue having conversations on this show as we work towards curbing crime, in fact, eliminating crime here on the island of Tobago. But before we get into all of those conversations this morning, we head on over to the news in 90 seconds. Thank you, Adana. Here is your news in 90 seconds for Tuesday, August 6, 2024. Victoria Guerra, a Trinidadian woman also known as Dolly Boss, was shot multiple times at Lamy Road, Argyle yesterday. Guerra was taken to the Roxborough Hospital for treatment where she succumbed to her injuries. This incident brings the 2024 murder toll in Tobago to 19. Meanwhile, after the shooting incident in Lamy Road, Argyle, Kenny Arthur Batiste, also known as Pak Pak, got shot in another gun-related incident at Pembroke. He was transported to the Scarborough General Hospital but is said to be in a stable condition. Police are continuing investigations into the both incidents. The Ministry of Health has confirmed 635 laboratory-confirmed cases of dengue fever and 5 related deaths. In a statement, the ministry reminded the public that dengue fever is spread by the bite of an infected Aedes aegypti mosquito. Symptoms typically appear within 5 to 6 days of being bitten and can last for 1 to 2 weeks. They include fever, severe headaches, pain behind the eyes, muscle and joint pains, skin rash, nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea. And finally, the Division of Infrastructure, Quarries and the Urban Development will have the official commissioning of the Shirvan-Storby Local Road Connector and Roundabout project at 10 a.m. today. And that was your news in 90 seconds. Thank you, Biana, for our news there in 90 seconds. And of course, coming out of the news and in connection with the track that you just heard earlier in our show, we're talking again about gun-related crime. We're talking again about the murder of someone here on the island of Tobago. And I mean, when is it enough? Enough is enough. Sometimes it's kind of frightening, you know, just knowing that people have guns illegally out there. I don't know how they're getting them in
to our shores. As we always mention on this show, we don't manufacture guns here on the island of Tobago, so they have to be coming in from some ports of entry.
Yes.
And so we need to strengthen our borders. That's one. And I'm not sure what the challenges are where that is concerned. And we really need to be aggressive in terms of fighting crime.
Yes.
Every morning you wake up is something in the news about some gun-related incident, and it is getting out of hand.
Yes, it's really. And for the year thus far, we are only in the 8th month, and you're seeing these 19 murders already, you understand? And it's like 5 more as opposed to last year. That's really a troubling situation there.
Of course, especially for a small space like Tobago, and I'm certain that there are people around in communities who have information that can share the information to help us, you know, to detect these criminals.
Yes.
And of course, what are we doing? The enforcement of the law needs to be more aggressive. You know, I really don't know what the conversation has to be next, and I don't know what the steps have to be, but I know it has to be aggressive, and I know it has to be immediate, because it is really a frightening situation to be in right now here on this beautiful island of Tobago. And I'm wondering if we can even still use that term. We don't want to change the terminology of Tobago. We want it to remain beautiful. We want it to remain a safe space. So we are saying that enough is enough.
It is really enough.
You know, Biana, thank you so much for our news there in 90 seconds. Ladies and gentlemen, we are encouraging all of you in communities across the island of Tobago. If you have any information at all relating to any criminal activities, there are numbers that you can call quite confidently, in the strictest of confidence, anonymously, so that the information can be passed on to the agencies who will put the intel together to apprehend said criminals. This is our hope, and we do hope that we come together. If we see something, say something. TTPS, we are calling on you. We are calling on all the agencies who have sworn an oath to protect and serve this island of Tobago, Trinidad and Tobago by extension, and we do hope that the necessary steps will be taken aggressively and in rapid time. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this morning we have to celebrate. On a brighter note, we're going to celebrate with those who celebrate. And so we say happy birthday to a few people as we head on over to our birthday shout-outs. And this morning on screen and celebrating a birthday today, this is my friend, Summer Alonzo. Summer Alonzo is celebrating her birthday today. And I want to say a very special happy birthday to you, Summer. We pray God's blessings upon your life. Continue striving for all your goals, to achieve them all. I pray the very best for you in this new chapter of your life. I pray that the paragraphs in this chapter, the sentences, that they are all beautifully written, and that you are able to enjoy all the success of your hard labor. Happy birthday to you, Summer. And on screen is Celiron Frederick. He is celebrating a birthday today as well. And we say happy birthday to you. Some know him as Sil. It's his birthday today, of course, out there, Sil. And we want to say happy birthday to you. We pray God's blessings upon your life. And we do hope that you have a wonderful day today. Next is Songai Douglas. Yes, Songai is also celebrating a birthday today. And Songai, we say happy birthday to you, beautiful lady. We do hope that you have a wonderful birthday today. And we do hope as you enter this new chapter of your life that you have a wonderful story to tell. Happy birthday to you, and God bless you. And this one is Tomley Roberts. Tomley Roberts is also celebrating a birthday today. We pray God's blessings upon your life, Tomley. We pray that you continue to walk in purpose and that you continue to enjoy the things that you like doing with God's blessings and God's grace upon your life. So happy birthday to you. And finally, rounding up our birthday shout-outs this morning, this is a belated birthday. This is Angelique Powder. Angelique celebrated over the weekend, and we want to say happy belated birthday to you, Angelique. And we do hope that you have a wonderful birthday season, and that this new year of your life brings all the desires of your heart to manifestation. We say happy birthday to you, and God bless you. And of course, to all of you who are celebrating a birthday, even if we don't have your photographs, we want to say happy birthday to you. And remember to always give God thanks for life. For who can give life unto himself except God gives life to him? So remember to keep him in the loop and always give thanks for life, especially the way things are going these days. You might be wondering who are we having conversations with this morning in studio, and we start off our discussions this morning by speaking with Minister Shelley-Ann Batiste of Kingsway Ministries International, and we're talking Shiloh Fest 2024, demolishing limitations, building destiny. And then we speak with Mr. Curtis Williams. He's the president of the Tobago Division of the Chamber of Industry and Commerce. Very important topic this morning, speaking about crime and the Tobago businesses. That is going to be a very in-depth conversation this morning. And so we hope that you stay with us as we go through those conversations this morning and get all the information and the details. Remember, you can comment on our live feeds here on Facebook and on YouTube. And for those of you who are viewing us on Ampere 102, we also say welcome. We love to get your views, we love to get your input, and we love to know what you are thinking and what you are saying. So feel free to drop your comments on our live stream. And let me just say a special good morning to all our regular viewers who are viewing us this morning. We say thank you for choosing us, for making us your #1 choice for morning show here in Trinidad and Tobago. We thank you so much, and we do hope that you could stay with us for the duration of our show. But in the meantime, we have to go for a short break, and when we come back, we will begin conversations. So share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back.
Only gunshots everywhere, a hot spot.
When music was top notch, now is on the bus clock. So we need to bring the balance for the madness to stop.
Don't want them already, but things are get shredder. Now we need to show the youths how to love one another.
Too much gang warfare and violent time in this time. Who could? The prophet on the line. Bobo.
King war really going on in this country. Like all them new song making gun factory. Last night they run in a house and kill 3.
I know all you talk call with David Sash and Ziggy.
We know saying it's time, cause the youth and them blind. And how many more bodies the police must find? And who stands to benefit the most of a crime? Press down to the 6, 7 and the 9.
Pam Star Promotions and Charns Bookstores are happy to bring the 2024 New Wave Maths Championships to Lowlands Mall, 8th to 10th August. Participants must be between ages 9 to 12 years. Lots of prizes to be won. To register, call 471-2604. For the best prices on school books, WhatsApp 471-2604 or 371-4824. 3 lucky students will win their book list for free.
Are you ready to optimize your wedding business for engagement season and book more clients? Refine is the place to be. Refine, the Wedding Business Summit. Saturday, 14th September 2024 from 9 a.m. Pigeon Point Heritage Park, Tobago. This premier event is designed specifically for Caribbean wedding industry professionals. Gain expert insights, practical knowledge, and valuable connections that can help you thrive in the destination wedding market. Register now at refinesummit.com. It is time to refine. Refine, the Wedding Business Summit. Get insider info, advice, and insights from local, regional, and international players in the destination wedding market. Refine, the Wedding Business Summit. Saturday, 14th September 2024, Pigeon Point Heritage Park, Tobago. It's time to refine.
Attention members, now is your chance to double or even triple your dividend payment with no increase in your existing loan payment. Don't miss out on this incredible opportunity to boost your dividends effectively. Whether you're planning a vacation or simply looking to maximize your savings, we've got you covered. Call us today at 639-8226 or 631-1336. Message us on Facebook for more information. Hurry, this offer won't last long. Bethel Credit Union, because we see you at BCU.
MI4 Security Services Company is the most advanced security service in Tobago.
Ask about our cash and transit service. It's safe, risk-free, reliable, and timely. We provide safe banking delivery for all business types and sizes with highly trained staff, 24/7 monitoring, coordinated emergency response, and a well-maintained fleet of armored vehicles. Contact us at 660-7723 or visit our website at www.mi4securitytt.com to sign up today.
It's a different type of thing down there. Man, we party till we drop down there. With a lot of pretty girls down there. Down in Tobago.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning.
Welcome back to the morning show on Tobago Updates Television. We are in studio and we begin conversations this morning. We speak with Minister Shelley Ann Batiste of Kingsway Ministries International, and we're speaking about an event coming up called Shiloh Fest 2024, and the theme this year is Demolishing Limitations, Building Destiny. A very, very important, I love the theme this year for this particular event, especially in the times that we're in now. We're talking about limitations, and sometimes, you know, limitations cause you to respond and react to things in certain ways. Good morning, Minister Shelley, and welcome.
Yes, good morning. Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
Of course, and thank you for coming here this morning in studio to have this conversation. And you know, I was saying that sometimes when you have limitations, you take certain actions,
Definitely.
right? And we can see that happening in the way things are happening in terms of crime and the criminal activities here on the island of Tobago. And so now Shiloh Fest is here.
Yes.
You know, we want to talk a little bit about the impact Shiloh Fest is going to have on the island and the churches and what the churches are, you know, coming together to do at that particular event.
Yes. So thank you once again. I think historically we need to understand the genesis of Shiloh. So it is a Hebrew word, goes back to Joshua. At that time, it was the place where the children of Israel gathered. So it was a coming together of the children of Israel where they came together to meet with God. So it symbolizes the presence of God. Now, today, Shiloh is not just an event. Shiloh is the person himself, Jesus Christ. So Shiloh Fest started in 2011. And let me say good morning to our Bishop, Ayotunde Akindele, the dreamer, the apostle, the angel overcame I. And therefore, that came out because he needed to see the manifest presence of God in Tobago. And I think more than ever, as you were talking earlier about the prevalence of crime and gun violence, we need Shiloh. We need Shiloh. And this is an opportunity for the people of God. I don't think as children of God we understand the power that we have.
That's right.
We've spent so much time dividing and arguing about, as far as I'm concerned, frivolities. And the meat of the matter is not being addressed. So Shiloh is a gathering, the calling of the saints together to meet with God, to hear from God. We're talking about, as we said, crime. What is the answer? It's only God can give us the answer, because clearly humans don't have the answer. We've not been able to respond from a natural point of view, and therefore we need a supernatural intervention, and that's what Shiloh is.
I was just about to ask, because you said we can't respond from a natural point of view.
That's correct.
So this means that the place of Shiloh and the coming together speaks about the supernatural and activation of the supernatural.
That's correct. Yes. So Shiloh, as I said previously, Shiloh was a place. Shiloh is no longer just a place. It is the person in Jesus Christ himself. When we talk about Shiloh, we talk about the manifest presence of God. We talk about the peace of God. Just saying the word Shiloh, and I challenge anybody to say, just say the word Shiloh.
Shiloh.
There's an aura of peace.
That's right.
It also is a place of God's judgment. Because for too long, we've been just allowing things to happen. but it's the place where God will put systems and measures in place. God will correct what needs to be corrected, and He will give us that opportunity to start over.
And that is absolutely necessary. As you mentioned, that He will put things in place. People have different opinions of who God is.
Yes.
And God is omniscient.
That's right.
There are many aspects to who God is. First of all, He's a loving God.
Yes.
We know that.
Yes.
Right? But He also has judgment. He's a God that judges as well, because He has principles and standards. And so, of course, we have to follow those guidelines that is set out. And so now we're talking about the theme this year, which is demolishing limitations and building destiny. And as you mentioned, it's a gathering of the people of God coming together. What can people expect when they come into this place for this theme for Shiloh 2024?
So as we're talking about demolishing limitations, as a people, individually and collectively, the Church of God, as individuals ourselves, we have been limited. One, we have limited ourselves in terms of what we think we can achieve, what we've applied ourselves to, and for too long we've been held back. Shiloh and our theme this year is one of teaching and impartation, that the body of Christ, that people understand we can break forth. We don't have to be restricted by the cocoon that we've known for so long. It is time for us to break forth into our destiny. It is time for us to accomplish all that God says we can be. Whatever, as the scripture says, He's able to do above and beyond all that you could think or even imagine. And even the crime situation, God is able to provide the resolution, the strategies, the know-how. He is able, because He's God.
That's right. That's right. And it goes back to what you said earlier, that we don't, as believers, because I too am a believer, we don't understand the power that we have.
Definitely.
And the access to the kind of access we have when we enter into that place. And so, of course, you're saying that this opportunity now is to open those gates for us to understand, to get a better understanding and activation of the power that God has. And I love when you reminded us there that we can do all things through Christ one, and our God is able to do exceedingly abundantly. Can you imagine somebody having a wild imagination and thinking that they can do all sorts of things, and God is there thinking, is that it? There's so much more that can be done,
And he's able to do above that.
Exactly. And so, Shiloh is something that I look forward to, of course, this year. And tell us a little bit about some of the speakers who would be there this year for Shiloh.
Definitely. Of course, we have our host pastor, Bishop Ayatunde Akindele. We have our daddy bishop, Bishop Dr. David Ibellamy, a teacher of the word.
That's right.
He expounds, he mash it up, as we say, he mash it up fine for you. We have, coming from the United States, Pastor Ayo Ajim. We also have Pastor Reverend Anthony Clark. Wow, what can I say? Reverend Clark operates with the anointing for healing. So we also want to encourage persons. You're sick, you have some disease, the doctor gave you some kind of report. As Isaiah said, whose report do you believe? I want to challenge people out there. You might have had some terminal illness. Come to Shiloh. Come with a spirit of expectation. These 4 men of God will break down the word for you. Additionally, on Saturday, and I'm not going to say what days the speakers are coming, because I've recognized over the years that people feel like they have a favorite, so are coming to. No, just come. But on Saturday, however, we will be specific with this Saturday. On Saturday morning, we have a prayer breakfast for women. Sorry, men, for women only. Because many times, as women, we are preoccupied. We take care of everybody, the children, the house, the husband, the work, and we leave ourselves undone. So that Saturday morning, our prayer breakfast is only $150. And that is the only event that is paid. Everything else is free. Did I say free? Everything else is free. So that takes place at Shore Park Cultural Complex, prayer breakfast, women, 8 a.m. And later on Saturday at 3, another free event, we have the youths. We're giving them the opportunity. And the focus of the youth this year is worship. The heart of worship.
That's right. Absolutely amazing. And of course, the event starting from tomorrow.
Tomorrow at midday, we have our breakthrough hour, 12 p.m. All this takes place at the Victory Outreach Church. So let me give you a quick rundown. So tomorrow it starts 12 noon is our breakthrough hour at VOC. Then we come back for 6:30 on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday evening. We have our evening sessions. On Saturday, as I said, is the women's prayer breakfast in the morning. On the afternoon at 3 is the youth session. And then on Sunday morning at 10, we have the grand culmination of Shiloh Fest.
Absolutely amazing stuff. And what is that one thing that you're looking forward to most from Shiloh Fest? And what is that one thing you also want to share with our viewers to encourage them to come out to have that same experience at Shiloh Fest?
I have a crazy, as we were talking about expectations, and I want to see God turn up the place. I am, me personally, tired of the, okay, so you expect at 5 past, this is going to take place and this is going to take place. I want at Shiloh, it must be a unforgettable experience. Every day, every session, God must move miraculously differently. And that is what I want to encourage persons. Do not come with a set mindset that God will move this way and God will move that way. Come with your barrels turned up. Come hungry. The Bible says, they that hunger and thirst after righteousness shall be filled.
That's right.
So come with a high expectation. It will not be cut off. It will not be short-circuited. So that's my open invitation to everybody. Toot moon bagay. And let me just say this, Adana. I want us to strip off the labels. I'm Pentecostal and I'm Adventist and I'm Moravian. And I think those things have been keeping us back. Those are the things that have contributed to our limitations because we see each other under labels. These are small church and there's no. In the eyes of God, we are all equal and He's able to move between amongst all of us. So that's my open invitation to every single one of. We got space. We get space for everybody. So come, join us at Shiloh Fest.
Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. We speak with Minister Shelley coming out there from the KMII, Kingsway Ministries International Ministries there, primarily Victory Outreach Church in St. Cecile, Scarborough, Tobago. This is where it's going to be happening starting from tomorrow at midday. All are invited. We're talking about Shiloh Fest 2024 and we're talking about demolishing limitations. What are the limitations in your life? And building destiny. You don't want to miss it. We have to go for a short break before we continue conversations this morning. And as we go, we invite you to help us. Share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back.
Kingsway Ministries International presents Shiloh Fest 2024, Demolishing Limitations, Building Destiny, from August 7th to 11th. Powerful ministers include Bishop David Ibelami, Pastor Anthony Clark, Pastor Ayo Ajim, and host pastor Bishop Ayatunde Akindele.
Before you were formed in your mother's womb, I called you into something. I anointed you to be able to get some things done. But you must see it.
What God has already said yes to, He cannot turn around and say no to.
It is not that the weapons will not be formed. It is that the weapons, though are formed, they will not prosper.
God wants to take you to that level this year where you deal with the limitations and get the actual result that God has for you.
Shiloh Fest 2024 happens from August 7th to 11th at Victory Outreach Church, Scarborough, Tobago. For more information, contact 391-0078 or 354-8654. Shiloh Fest 2024. Demolishing limitations, building destiny. See you at Shiloh Fest.
Said I'm falling, I'm falling. As I lay in my bed with my head to the ceiling. Say I'm drowning alone and I'm lost in my feelings. Somebody send me a sign, cause you know that I need it. Carnival, come back to me, cause you know you're my healing. I said it's okay, it's my therapy, my therapy. It take away all of my anxiety, my remedy. I tell you that we all need love. Jump up and show me love, wind up and show me love. Together say we are.
Oh yeah! I said I can't wait for Tobago in October. Embark on an adventure to the greatest little island on the planet. Tobago invites you to ritual, revelry, and release. Whining in the Bago sun, having Bago fun, and Bago drinking rum. We go jump up and carry on. From October 25th to the 27th, 2024, experience the energetic vibe, the vibrant colors, and the unforgettable spirit of the Tobago Carnival. Down here in Tobago. Whether you're chipping down the road or marveling at the beauty and creativity of our artisans, Tobago Carnival is an adventure.
I said I wait and I wait and I wait and I wait for Carnival to come. So I call all my friends, making my plans for the Tobago Carnival fun.
Join us for ritual, revelry, and release. Tobago Carnival 2024, where every moment is memorable.
I said I can't wait for Tobago in October.
Coconut's Cafe, the buffet restaurant that specializes in all your tasty local dishes. For breakfast and for lunch. Breakfast includes coconut bake and sada roti, served with chokers, buljoil, and sausages in tomato sauce. Not forgetting beef and cheese pies, shepherd's pie, macaroni pie, and rice in various styles. Meat served in a variety of flavors, garden salads, and pasta salads. All this accompanied by fruit juices, coconut water, your choice of a great combination to appease your taste buds. So call us today to order, as we are here to accommodate your busy schedules or if you are having a cooking day off.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Welcome back to the morning show on Tobago Updates Television, and thank you for staying with us. We continue conversations this morning. We speak with Mr. Curtis Williams, and he is the president of the Tobago Division of the Chamber of Industry and Commerce. This morning we're speaking about crime and the impact on businesses here in Tobago. If you think crime wasn't your business, trust me, it is yours, and we're going to have that conversation this morning. Good morning, Mr. Williams, and welcome.
Good morning, and good morning to all your viewers and listeners on Tobago Updates. It's a pleasure being here.
Yes, it is a pleasure to have you here and to have this conversation. You know, we need to have meaningful conversations as we speak about the impact of crime on different industries. You know, we're talking about the safety of lives, and now we're talking about the sustainability of businesses on the island of Tobago, which also lends to our livelihoods, right? And we want to get into the conversation, but before you start, I want to share an experience with you. Sure. You know, yesterday when I heard about the shooting in Argyle, I was so very scared, right? and I was standing at a street vendor to get something, from those food trucks. And I was standing there and literally looking over my shoulders because of the state of the crime on the island of Tobago. And this was early evening hours. And I felt very scared, and so this is the position we're in now. And it can't work. It can't work. So from a business standpoint, I mean, what are we doing?
And you're correct. You felt scared. You can imagine how we at the business community and how we talked about the entire event. It's not a nice time for us. It's really not a nice time for us. We see things just moving from worse to just worse. What we see happening in the space is that a lot of folks are taking advantage of the. I think the police soft approach just can't work any longer. The police need to be more proactive in the deliverance, and that soft approach really didn't work, and now they have to step it up a bit. They definitely have to step it up a bit. So I call upon the ACP Hazel to understand he and his team Kurt and his team senior superintendent Kurt, they need to step it up. It can't be business as usual any longer. We at the business community, we're not going to accept it. It's not business as usual. They need to step up the game.
Exactly, and especially if persons like the experience I had yesterday, then I just will not patronize the businesses. I will stay indoors, and so the businesses are impacted. They are affected by reduced sales. We were having a little banter before we came on set, and we were talking about the type of impact it's having on the business community as well.
Yeah, definitely. Some of the business decided to close early. No one going to stay till 8, 9 anymore. Everybody want to close by 6 o'clock. By minute dusk comes, we want to close our shops, we want to close our mini marts, we want to close our saloons, we want to close everything. The restaurants and them is a bit concerned because they know normally that's night and dinner, and most of the restaurants are open air restaurants and on the west. So you can imagine if that kind of activity moved down to the west, what will happen to the bars and all of them. So we asking the law enforcement, the TTPS, up your game. You definitely had to up your game. Last night, yes, I did make some wrongs. I saw some more patrols in various areas, but we stated we want to say to them now, I mean, fet over, back to work now. Up your game. You definitely had to up your game. You spoke about the drug blocks, and you really have to look at that. We know all the drug blocks. We know all the pushers. We know all the gangs, and we're not doing anything. We're waiting for something to happen. It's like we're waiting there just for the murder or the crime to be committed, and then we go on and spread red tape and blue tape and all kind of tape. Today, this morning, the police definitely had to step up the game. No two ways about it. And we at the business community, we're going to give them another opportunity to let's see if something is going to happen, as we're definitely going to do something meaningfully. We can't sit any longer and accept that laid-back approach to this kind of a criminal gang warfare on the island. It's just shooting like Western. That's what's going on. So you're there, we're having your snack, you're probably at your food truck, and then suddenly you just shoot out. Where in Tobago we are accustomed to that kind of thing. We're not accustomed to those kind of activities. So we ask upon the law enforcement authorities on the island, step up your game. Finish.
What are some of the areas you think they can step up their game, as you put it, in terms of managing and eradicating this measure of crime on the island of Tobago?
Well, simple. We don't produce guns in Trinidad and Tobago. So the guns, etc., is coming into the island. How the guns come to the island? Air or seaport. And our borders are wide open. They are open. There's nobody there protecting our borders. Our borders are wide open. So that meant that the Coast Guard and the police marine unit, as they have them, they need to step up the game. We need to have intelligence people at some of these ports, and some of the ports that is unmanned, because a lot of vessels is moving in and out between these ports and bringing the guns. Yeah, it's simple. The guns are coming at the airport, and even at the seaport where the inter-island ferry. There are some checks going on there, so highly likely a guy will be walking with a machine gun through in his vehicle coming up to Tobago. So it's coming on by the open ports. Come on, everybody knows that. And the guys, I mean, the people within the villages understand what's happening, and they know what's going on, they know all the activities. So the police need to get in there now, get your intelligence people in there, and start to work on it, right?
Yeah, it definitely, and I want to agree with you because, as you said, we don't manufacture those weapons here. And when I spoke with Senior Superintendent Cook, I think it was last Monday in our conversation, he was talking about, at the time licensing officers were here and they were talking about tinting and stuff like that. And he was saying, of course, high-powered weapons, you don't walk around with them. But we know they don't walk around with them. But how aggressive is the approach in terms of finding these weapons, finding the way that they come in, stopping them, barring them from coming in, thereby reducing crime?
Yeah, well, because the weapon, as you see, most of the time with the crimes is firearm, and when you look at the type of shells, the rounds they're using, it's not hardly you see 9mm. You're seeing 5.56. Those are high grade weapons, right? And so we know for sure. Whether you have these guys tucking away the weapons and they come and you use them and you put them back into the hiding spot. Listen to me, if I as an average person knows that, come on police, please give me a break. You guys ought to know what's going on the island and stop playing this Mickey Mouse thing. Get to work. Start eradicating all those blocks. Just as you stated, Senior Soup, go down and take away the blocks. Move the men off the blocks. Right here in Scarborough. What are they doing? The police will be there directing traffic and want to give you a ticket for this. And the man right there smoking all the weed and pushing all the drugs and you doing nothing. You only turning your head the next way. What's going on? So police is for what? Traffic? You're a traffic cop. So you don't have no concern about drugs and other element of policing. So you just there. You're turning a blind eye to the guy who pushing drugs right here in Scarborough. So I'm telling you, the police need to step up the game. Stop the nonsense now. We had enough of it. Tobago have enough of the nonsense. Get to work.
And, TTPS also have reported that they have additional help, that we have units coming up from Trinidad, of course, to give the more boots on the ground, as they call it. Have you seen any measure at all of improvement in terms of the visibility of police in areas that we term hotspots?
Well, what I see is nice vehicles with the glass up and air condition. That's what they're going through. And that's what I'm seeing. I'm not seeing the foot patrols. I'm not seeing the guys on the beat, the joint patrols, the Army, the Coast Guard on the beat moving around in these so-called hotspots. Well, the whole of Tobago now is like hot. So, but come on, guys. You need to really step up your game. You need to tell these guys, all these drug pushers and all of them, listen, enough of this nonsense. We can't have Tobago turn into this kind of creature that we want to turn it into. Get rid of it.
Do you think that lack of intelligence also hinders the police in terms of being proactive as to how they approach the crime situation?
Well, some folks are a bit fearful in passing information on to the police. But there are so much, there are so much things out there, 800 tips, Crime Stoppers, that you could pass information and no one will know. So if you have fear of giving the police information because you think everybody is everybody's friend, fine, use 800 tips. Pass information through 800 tips and the information will sure get to the police and they will do what they have to do. But again, it has to be intelligent driven. Right? Policing is not just putting the boots on the ground. There must be some sort of intelligence behind the scene going on in the system. So they have all the different agencies within the police service, and we got additional help on the island. The Prime Minister gave us all that we need, and I don't know what we're doing. We're playing, I don't know if it's Dolly House we're playing on the island, but let's show these guys that you are in charge. You are the police, you are the law. You show the bandits that you are the law. And you get there and be proactive and not reactive. And that's what's happening. I've seen a lot of reactive. So as soon as a crime scene, you're seeing all the police vehicles in the world you could see at the crime scene. But what happened before? What's happening? Go on all the blocks. We know all the blocks from Charleville to Crump Point. I could go with you and show you every single block. But what happened to the police? What's going on with you guys? Come on, step up the game.
And I know TTPS also reported that they have strategies in place, or they're strategizing. We have all the external agencies who are collaborating with them, and they're sitting around the table and putting things in motion. Some of the things I suppose they cannot speak to publicly because that's their strategy. Do you think that they are moving in fast enough time, one, and effective enough in terms of enforcing the law?
No, not at all. We're in the heights of summer. There's a lot of guests, there's a lot of families on the island. I've been at the port and at the airport, and I see lots of families coming across to enjoy the summer vacation. We're going straight into Tobago Carnival. We can't accept this kind of nonsense happening on the island at this time. It's going to cripple the business. Let's be frank. We have to be frank in our conversation. We cannot allow this to happen. We cannot be going into Tobago Carnival or deep in summer now, into Tobago Carnival with this sort of nonsense, we have to put a stop to it. So hence the reason I'm asking on the TPPS and the law enforcement, step up your game. You said you're going to move to the next wave. Well, go to the third wave. Skip the second. Go straight to the third. And you do what you have to do. We are here as a chamber. We are here as business people to support you 100%. We'll give you all that you so desire in our space that we could assist you with. And I know the Tobago Assembly will assist you as well. So step up your game and do what you have to do as law enforcement. Don't break the law, but do what you have to do. You have the authority to do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're speaking with Mr. Curtis Williams. He is the president of the Tobago Division of the Chamber of Industry and Commerce. And we're talking about crime and the impact of businesses here on the island of Tobago and crime in general. We're going to go for a short break, and when we come back, we're going to continue this conversation. So we ask that you stay with us. And as you stay with us, we invite you to help us. Share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back.
Are you ready to optimize your wedding business for engagement season and book more clients? Refine is the place to be. Refine, the Wedding Business Summit. Saturday, 14th September 2024 from 9 a.m. Pigeon Point Heritage Park, Tobago. This premier event is designed specifically for Caribbean wedding industry professionals. Gain expert insights, practical knowledge, and valuable connections that can help you thrive in the destination wedding market. Register now at refinesummit.com. It is time to refine. Refine, the Wedding Business Summit. Get insider info, advice, and insights from local, regional, and international players in the destination wedding market. Refine, the Wedding Business Summit. Saturday, 14th September 2024, Pigeon Point Heritage Park, Tobago. It's time to refine.
I'm so relieved Javel gave me this money. Now I could enjoy the holidays with my family and not have to worry about monies for bags, books, and shoes.
Javel? Who is Javel? She could give me some money too?
Javel is the July-August vacation education loan at Bethel Credit Union. Up to $20,000 to help with all additional expenses during this July-August.
Yes, you heard right. Call the Bethel Credit Union and ask for Javel. She'll hook you up with the money to take care of all your additional expenses this holiday season. Open to new members too. Get up to $20,000 and have a worry-free holiday with Javel. Call 639-8226 or 631-1336 or message us on Facebook for more information.
Tobago Glass Supplies has been a leading name for over 37 years in the glass and aluminum market in Tobago. We provide an extensive range of high-quality, innovative aluminum and glass products for commercial and residential use. Competitive prices with superior and professional services by committed employees who are guided by rigid quality standards. Tobago Glass Supplies specializes in the manufacture and installation of glass and aluminum products that are essential to today's homeowners and the business environment. We are engaged in marketing, sales, and installation of a variety of products. These ranges from windows and doors to necessities such as mirrors for homes and vehicles, designed and manufactured in-house or imported.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Welcome back to the morning show on Tobago Updates Television. We're just about 7:45 a.m. So if you're getting to work for 8 a.m., you have just about 15 minutes to get there. Remember to drive safely on our nation's roads because we want you to get to work as safe as possible. We continue conversations this morning in studio speaking with Mr. Curtis Williams. Yes, he is the president of the Tobago Division of the Chamber of Industry and Commerce. And we're talking about crime on the island of Tobago, the impact on businesses and the impact on our lives in general. And so we're going to continue the conversation, and we started speaking about, community efforts. We understand that there's a community policing because off air we were just talking a little bit about, how the reason sometimes because you're idle. Yeah. It's literally because you're idle, you have nothing going on, and so you get into these type of criminal activities. And we want to see some intervention there. Because, as I mentioned to TTPS multiple times when they come on this set, if we don't give them an alternative, they're going to take an easier way out. That's correct. And you hit the nail on the head. We see a lot of guys on the block, as we say, they're idle. There's nothing much happening. We knew in the past, the construction sector used to absorb all these guys, so we used to have them occupy. And now the guys are not occupied that much, and they want to make a buck or two fast, quick money, and they will be on the block doing what they have to do, plying the trade to make this money. And then it becomes a big business, and then it becomes issues, and then it becomes who had to affiliate with what side, because you had to be on the side of X or the side of Y. So it's a big thing going on. It's a big business, massive business going on there on the block. So it's a way of the guys to get, so we need the community intervention. So we're looking at the sofa aspect of it, and I know the THA indicated that they want to work on that part of it, in getting the young men and them involved in some sort of activities that can really make things happen, and on that side. So I'm looking forward to that aspect of the THA coming in to give that soft approach to treat with the young boys and them on the block and get them in the various communities. Because when we look at the various communities across the island and we look at the blocks, we've seen where the idleness, that leads to all the guys have nothing, there's nothing happening. If something is happening in your life or you're busy, getting up for 6 to get ready for work, you're packing your lunch bag and you're going out, you have something to do. You have no time to be on the block to sell no 2-stick of weed or as the case may be. You're busy. And then when after you're done your construction, your 8 hours, you're tired, you ain't going back on no block, you say, boy, I go in and rest, boy, I have to go back there because my foreman or my contractor won't be there by 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock. So you're tired. You have no time for no block. So at least there's something happening. So we're asking that the construction sector needs to pull all these people and get them involved. There's not much happening in the construction sector these days, and we can see there's a bit slowdown in that area in Tobago. We had the roundabout was going on and the airport, but we've seen a lot of folks not from Tobago working there. And I'm not seeing the Tobagonians involved in any massive kind of a work going on the island. So we had to look at that, and we had to look at the other social element. The guys and them, they don't want to do no 8-hour work any longer. They want it quick. So they will come and they will probably do a morning job as they want to do, and then they'll go and pull bull after that. A lot of hustling going on. We've seen that right through. Everybody trying to make a dollar because things is not as bright as we expected. So they had to look at the thing in all different avenues. We mentioned the new security minister, and he mentioned that he want to come to Tobago, and I can't wait for him. As soon as he touched down in Crown Point, I want to be there at first to tell him, listen to me, and I would tell him plain as it is. There's no conversation. We hide enough. We just crying, shaming Tobago. We doesn't want to talk. We just sit in a corner and murmur. Time we done with that nonsense. They're going to tell the minister, listen to me, this is what's happening on the island, and they need to be fixed, and we will give him some suggestions. We're not only crying and complaining. We are going to give them suggestions as we going forward. So we're waiting for the minister to come across, and we're going to sit with him and give him from the business community some suggestions as we're going forward and how we think certain things will happen. We are not expert. We are the lay person on the floor, and we could give some meaningful suggestions going forward. And one of the main one I give, I remember in the early stages when the ACP took over Tobago, he said there's a new sheriff in town. And he came up with, he was there, and he was on the media, all the media houses for that week, and he was coming up, and everybody was fair that he's going to be breaking down their houses. And where did the sheriff go on? The sheriff lost his deputy? What's going on with the sheriff? Sheriff, you said there was a new sheriff in town?
come and let's see what's happening with the sheriff and get things going. But we're not seeing that proactive approach. And that's what we need in this space, the proactive approach going forward.
And the other thing too, as you spoke about men being idle on the block and making a quick buck, you know, they do something quick, a quick turnover to get a quick buck. And then they go home with this quick buck. Somebody living home with them and they realize that a quick buck came home and this person is unemployed.
Yeah, definitely.
And then they don't say anything because they're enjoying the life that the quick buck is bringing in. And so we breeding them in our homes, in our communities, and people are aware of this. And I believe that we have a social responsibility.
Yeah, definitely. No, you had to look at the two aspects of it. Yes, the person bringing the proceeds of the crime home, but because of the social element, the single parent, maybe the child there, you have two kids and the mother needs to take care of them, and she just happy for the money to go and buy a little grocery down at the mini mart or what. I mean, we had to look at the reality of what we're facing, you know. Let's stop sticking our heads in the sand and hiding. That's what's really going on. Yes, we know that he know that the boy ain't working nowhere, but he bringing home thousands of dollars. But the reality part of it,
what is the alternative?
Children need to eat. This need to. It's hard. It's hard in some community, and let's just sit on our armchair and just look down at them. It is very difficult in some communities. So they had to live, but do it the lawful way. So hence the reason why we're asking you, let's find some solutions going forward. And so the guys on the block, I know, yes, you go there for the little hustle, you go there to do because you had to make ends meet, you're hungry, you need to this, you need to see about your children, you need to see about your home, granny there, granny can't get medication, granny this, granny having problems, you know, who ain't working and all the different things, and you're trying to put ends together, fine, because I don't think they're turning around that money to go and buy a house. No. So hence the reason is just to meet that day-to-day expenses going forward. But I think they're alternative, and I think we should look at the alternative that we could give these guys so they don't have to be on the block trying to make that quick dollar and get themselves involved with all the different organizations who want to be number 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 21, and all kind of numbers.
Let's hope it doesn't get to 21.
Right, so that's the thing, because that's what the affiliation. The block will mind you and nurture you, you know. That's what the block does. That's what the block does, and then the leader now will say, well, you are nothing, boy, look a little thing. And then you become loyal because he keep feeding you. And after feeding you for X amount of time, you know what happened? Loyalty, you know, you can't go nowhere. You can't just turn your back and just walk out of me. Well, boy, where you going? You just leaving me just so? Nah. You can't leave me just so, and that's where all the thing happens. I as a layman understand that. Living in Tobago, born here. And you tell me the police they know that? Come on, please. Give me a break. Right? They ought to know this, because if I am a normal person living here in Tobago space, growing up right here in Tobago, understanding Scarborough, understanding the whole of Tobago, and you tell me the police don't understand that? Our leaders don't understand that? Please, somebody need to do something and do it fast, because Tobago, I don't like the direction Tobago is going into, and it doesn't do well for us, all of us, because if crime affects us and it affects our tourists, we have a next problem coming there. Then we think with the police, no police now anymore. Now is the government now have to come in now to step in. So we can't let the crime meet to that stage where it start to affect the tourists. Right now we're trying to keep it there within the villages and so forth, but we need to clean it up and don't let it move to any stage.
And you know, this is a call now for both the government and for corporate Tobago to come together, because you mentioned, you know, the construction industry used to take and absorb some of them, and now the government and corporate has to provide some measure of some type of program, some incentive program, whether it is training in one area where after you're trained, once you're qualified, we absorb you somewhere, we create some type of, I know sometimes the demand on the THA or the government to employ people is very high. But if we provide the programs that can help the persons to sharpen their skills or develop skills, make them marketable, even teach them how to start businesses, and I know that some of these programs exist, but there is some kind of drive that needs to be done to encourage these young boys. Because once they get a taste of that on the outside there, to come and tell them, no, I could teach you some skills that you could actually earn $1, it's very difficult, you know?
Yeah, so definitely. And you mentioned it. And so what we're trying to say is that you have all these programs existing in this space, but we need one central space that have the information, so the guys could go to that central space whether it's in East or in the West, but a central space to get the data or the information on what I can do and what I can do to help me and my family. We need a central space for that because there's so much programs going on. Trust me, there's a lot of programs happening in this space. This one running this one running a short one, this one running that one. But sometimes the guys and them are so confused. So we need a central space that they could go and collect the data and enroll into the various programs and get themselves, just show them. We at the business community could assist as much as we can, but we need the enablers, we need the government, we need the contract. We are here, we're willing, we have the expertise, but we need the contract to move forward. So the enablers, which is the government, whether it's the THA or the central government, need to come and enable us and get the thing moving so that we now could come in there now and absorb the young man and take him into our arms and try to nurture him going forward. Because I tell you, when you're on the site, on a construction site, is a learning atmosphere, it's safe and they learn a lot. But we keep the criminal elements out of it and we just make it a safe working area.
Yeah, and that's exactly what we need to do. Create safe spaces where people can feel, I could earn a buck here and I could learn something. And you want to create an environment where, especially with men, young men, they want to feel that measure of value.
Yeah.
That I have some kind of value in me and somebody want what I have. And so they will put themselves there to do the work and to polish themselves and to get better and of course be better citizens on the island of Tobago, as it were. Because at the end of the day, we really want to get back to a place where I can enjoy my life on Tobago. You can enjoy your life, our families and generations coming up, and we don't want to be living in fear. I'm telling you, I'm sitting here right now and I am reliving the feeling I had yesterday when I was at the food truck.
Yeah, and it's real because there's so much food trucks in Scarborough and otherwise, and sometimes we stop by to get something and you can imagine a guy just passing and spray the hole with bullets. What's happening? Mm-hmm. So the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, the law enforcement agency on the island, Tobago need to get back to where it was many years ago, right? And we need to do something about it. And we could do our part as the business community, but we ask upon you, the TTPS, and the other agencies and them, do your part, right? I know you said you will step it up and it may be inconvenient. You do what you have to do. Just make sure you do it lawful. That's all. Do it lawful, but do what you have to do and get rid the island of that element of that gang. We can't deal with that gang culture.
And sometimes in some communities back then, you knew everybody who was living in your village.
Yeah.
And now you're seeing a lot of people migrating to certain communities that we don't know of. Just be vigilant.
Yeah.
The call is for you to be vigilant in your communities. If you see something, unusual, something strange, something questionable, be vigilant. And if you think you have to make a call, make a call. It's better to be safe than to be sorry.
That's correct. And you said it right. We all be vigilant. I mean, you're coming for a job, we will always ask you for your ID and all that. Whether it's construction, you might not want to fill out the paper because most of them sometimes can't fill out all that application form, but there's a simple thing as your ID. We take a copy of your ID, we create a nice file for you. And so we will know who we're employing. And it happens all. We just won't just employ you without knowing who we employ. So we have an idea of going forward. But again, as I indicated, the law enforcement agencies, the TTPS and the business community, we have to sit and come up with meaningful solution. And the first thing is to make Tobago safe once more. And we have to do that. We have to do that in our action. We have to do that in waking up in the morning. We must feel that way. We must be able to walk Scarborough. We must be able to walk Crown Point, walk Roxborough, and feel safe once more. And the only way that could be done is with all of us come together. It can't be the police alone. We, the population, have to assist the police. We have information, pass it on to the police. If you fear to call them, call 800-TIP, pass the information on to their anonymous, and you will get you just get a little reward and all of that with passing the tip, fine. Nobody know that you squeal on them. But we have to get Tobago back to where it ought to be.
That is right. Ladies and gentlemen, we were speaking with Curtis Williams, the president of the Tobago Division of the Chamber of Industry and Commerce, talking about crime on the island of Tobago. And of course, in his closing remarks, talking about providing meaningful solutions and the fact that fighting crime is a collaborative effort. The police cannot do it on their own. There are agencies who have to support, and you, and so do I, we have to come together as communities and to help these agencies as we curb crime here on the island of Tobago. Tobago. Ladies and gentlemen, this is where we end the morning show, but it's not where we end our programming. We head on over to GMT, so we ask that you stay with us. And as you stay with us, we invite you to help us. Share the live, share the live, share the live.
Welcome to Tobago Heritage, the Tobago Old Time Wedding happening right now at the beautiful community of Mariah, Tobago.
It's something that I've been waiting for from since last year, and trust me, this year they have improved.
It's coming like not only a heritage, but like a harvest, where everybody enjoying themselves, and people could take part in the bush back. You know what I mean?
The experience has been wonderful. The weather has been quite faithful to us this evening. The evening is pretty warm, and thus far we are having a wonderful experience.
Nice vibes, nice energy, and I just love this place.
First experience at the Mariah Old Time Wedding, and it has been fantastic, very electrifying. It's good to see the people out in the numbers, and the rain didn't really hinder the festivities. You know, rain only stops crickets.
I like to see the old time wedding, but what I find is that when they came from the church, the way the crowd was trying to get to see them, they should try and organize something on the street with bleachers or something for the people to sit down and get to see them better, because you couldn't see them so good because everybody run into videotape and take pictures.
The festival has been very exciting. This is our culture, and I believe that the Mariah Old Time Wedding is the crowning glory of our heritage. It's very rich, and it has gained international recognition for very long, and we need to do more to push it forward.
This is my first time ever at the Mariah Heritage. I usually watch it on TV, but my aunt decided to bring me out today, and I must say it's a really nice experience. The church service was very interesting. I really like the Mako lady on the outside. Very funny. I'm really looking forward to the stage production.
My heart is filled with joy to see my son, Cleophas, marry such a geophysically beautiful woman.
Say you said the man get all kind of thing home by you for the wedding. Of course. If me pity I get married and people bring things for me, the right thing to do is to give it to the wedding. Come let me show you something. Where you get this? Below you so house. Me house? You house. So who house again? When me look out of me window before cock crow, as straight as you house me I see.
All this time, you keeping all the food below your house? Below your house, Tilly?
I want to be concentrated for all the load I thought to come down here. I would like piece of pork, please.
You do wrong, but we can't live so. Yeah. I forgive you, right?
Accept it. Accept it.
And I forgive you and your brother. And I want all to take part in it. Tilly, where the pig on? Tilly, you mean all the thief the pig? All you? Me not take all the thief the pig? Me the right eye eyesight all the time. You gonna tell me thief pig? You thief the cake too? The cake? The cake too? I'm gonna forgive you, you know. But listen, all you come and do the grand change, eh? Me no know nothing but that till you're done. I'm done. I hope I'll choke.
That was a production of the Department of Information, Office of the Chief Secretary, Tobago House of Assembly.
Last year, October 2023, the island tilted. The peaceful bliss of sea, sun, and sand was transcended as we took to the streets to revel in paradise.
We love Tobago Carnival!
Tobago! It's such a nice place!
Tobago Carnival, we're right here. We're not leaving till we go right down.
It's the greatest, it's the best, it's safe, and it's beautiful.
I love Tobago, baby. Coming back next year. Hey!
Playing pan on the streets is a magical experience. When the band strike up, is rhythm, steel and powder. This is Tobago Carnival, pan in paradise.
Tobago is the best.
Tobago Carnival is the new home for the legend of Calypso. Where else can you get sweet Calypso music that gives you that nostalgic feeling?
Soca Titans is we title, is we monarch. We built artists from scratch who can perform with the best. Real titans of soca.
When last you've been to a party, plenty women looking so nice. We must be in paradise.
This year, ritual takes on new space and dimension. Traditions will be reimagined, breaking free, and taking on new meaning on the road.
I love the energy!
This year, the revelry is bigger and better. More colors, more meaning, great packages for the masqueraders. Tobago Carnival is freedom.
This year promoting safety in all events for Tobago Carnival. This year promoting whining, not minding people business. This year promoting clean fun, security and freedom.
Freedom to be any version of yourself that you choose to be with love and safety. Here, you have permission to be you, uninhibited and free.
So what you waiting on? This year, this October 2024, experience the ritual, revel in paradise, release yourself. From the greatest little island on the planet, this is the Tobago Carnival 2024.
Every time, yeah. Every single time.
Everybody phone on silent?
Yeah.
So straight into the news.
Updates.
It's a brand new morning, rise up to a brand new dawning. As the passion start to rise, the energy fill the skies. I say thanks for favor to wake up and hear my neighbor. 60,000 people strong, and the vibes is never wrong.
Good morning and welcome to Good Morning Tobago right here on Tobago Updates. I am Chanel Felix, and you know, whenever you see me here, it's because we're about to have those conversations that you want to have while I ask those questions that you want asked. And this morning we have a really interesting conversation for the ladies and for some of you men too as well. But before we get into that, let's have our news in 90 seconds. Victoria Guerrera, a Trinidadian woman also known as Dolly Boss, was shot multiple times at Lamy Road, Argyle yesterday. Guerrera was taken to the Roxborough Hospital for treatment, where she succumbed to her injuries. This incident brings the 2024 murder toll in Tobago to 19. Meanwhile, after the shooting incident in Lamy Road, Argyle, Kenyatta Batiste, also known as Pak Pak, got shot in another gun-related incident at Pembroke. He was transported to the Scarborough General Hospital, but is said to be in stable condition. Police are continuing investigations into both incidences. Additionally, the Ministry of Health has confirmed 635 laboratory cases of dengue fever and 5 related deaths. In a statement, the ministry reminded the public that dengue fever is spread by the bite of an infected Aedes aegypti mosquito. Symptoms typically appear within 5 to 6 days of being bitten and can last for 1 to 2 weeks. They include fever, severe headache, pain behind the eyes, muscle joint pains, skin rashes, nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea. And finally, the Division of Infrastructure, Quarries and Urban Development will have the official commissioning of the Sylvan-Storby Local Road Connector and Roundabout project at 10 a.m. this morning. And we at Tobago Updates would be bringing that to you live. But this morning we are talking about breastfeeding, a topic that I am extremely happy to be having this morning as a new mom myself. Now, this conversation is not just for the ladies, but for the men as well, because education doesn't just have to be for the person that's breastfeeding or may have to breastfeed in the future. Now, there are a number of myths and misconceptions surrounding breastfeeding, and this morning we're going to get into that. Now, breastfeeding is a natural occurrence as just a few days or maybe even the day after giving birth, the female body naturally produces milk. Now, there are so many things to talk about when we talk about breastfeeding. Some women are not able to naturally breastfeed after having a baby, and that in itself is also okay. There's no shaming for women who are unable to, but if the choice is to be made, breastfeeding should definitely be the one. This morning, I have the privilege of speaking with one of the breastfeeding trainers, as well as midwife at the TRHA, Mrs. Akila McClatchy Alfred, as well as Deborah Cook Warner, right? Warner, right, definitely, who is a baby-friendly coordinator at the TRHA as well. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning to the viewing public.
Right, thank you so much for being here this morning, ladies. Now, this conversation is a much-needed one, specifically with the fact that this week, we are celebrating World Breastfeeding Week. It's so important for mothers who already have kids, as well as mothers to be, and new moms like myself to understand the importance of breastfeeding, some of the nuances that come with that, and just understanding how they can combat some of the challenges that come with breastfeeding. Now, Miss McClatchy Alfred, you are a breastfeeding trainer. Before we came on air, I was asking what's the difference between a breastfeeding trainer and a lactation consultant, because after having a baby, if you do experience any challenges with breastfeeding, you're often advised to seek the counsel of a lactation consultant. So tell us what's the difference and how can women in Tobago access these services?
Okay. Good morning, first of all. So, breastfeeding counselors and breastfeeding lactation consultants, they are different because lactation consultants are advanced training, right? It's a more experienced training, which requires more experience and one-on-one practice and all of that. So we have in Tobago breastfeeding counselors, and we are trained under PAHO. So we did the Baby Friendly Hospital Initiative. So we have breastfeeding counselors, and we train staff and patients about breastfeeding and how to support them, and even mother-friendly care. We talk about mother-friendly care also incorporated in the whole breastfeeding process. So the lactation consult is just an advanced training, and we don't have any to note, or we have one we know of in Tobago, so we mostly have breastfeeding counselors.
Okay, and how would someone get access to that type of service if they are experiencing challenges with breastfeeding, or who should they go to?
So with the support, because this year's theme is Closing the Gap, Support for All. So with that, TRHA, we are now considered a baby-friendly institution, right?
A baby-friendly institution.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. And with that whole process coming on board, we created a breastfeeding support group. So it's called TABS, Tobago Adventures of Breastfeeding Support Group. So coming out of that group, we have breastfeeding trainers and counselors, right? We are mostly based on WhatsApp, and there we have a nice community that we share experiences. Mothers will ask about concerns, problems. We give our support. We do visits. We refer if necessary. Yeah, so that is basically how we are running our breastfeeding support, and if mothers need any help in Tobago. And of course, we have the DHVs in the community that we also refer them to. We have the maternity ward that we could always also refer them to, and they always contact us if need be.
Right. And one of the concerns that many new moms have is about their supply. Would I have a supply that can sustain exclusive breastfeeding? Mm-hmm. And, traditionally in Tobago, there are different herbs or, different bush that they will give you to drink to increase your milk supply. How can you talk to us a bit about the natural remedies? Is it okay for women to include natural remedies to increase that milk supply, or should they be cautious when trying different traditional remedies? Mrs. Warner.
So good morning again. So initially, most mothers are able to produce milk, right? Because we know that milk starts producing on the breast during that antenatal period from around the 16th week. So you have colostrum coming from the breast. So most mothers, but we know that there are some mothers who definitely may not be able to. But some of the natural things that we encourage is to put the baby on the breast on demand. So you continue to feed the baby. The more the baby is put to the breast, the more milk will be supplied, right? There's also other things that we could do, natural things. You try to breastfeed in the wee hours of the morning time. The more the breast empties, the more milk is supplied, right? So we have those. So some of the mothers who would have issues or challenges with breastfeeding or with milk supply, sometimes breastfeeding is also a emotional thing, right? So if they are under any stress, right? Stress could cause a decreased production. So you need to be comfortable as much as possible. So this is where the team comes in, support for mothers. So once the mothers have the support, we know that they are encouraged to breastfeed. So you spoke about the natural, the remedies, the bush and stuff. So we usually would use that vervine, right? So that would help some mothers to produce milk, right? So these are some of the natural ones that we have.
Okay, and are there any caution that women should take even when trying the natural remedies? Because we know even with a lot of the bush that we tend to use, we are unable to measure the dosage.
Exactly, yes,
so
that is true.
How do we then understand, okay, because, sometimes we might just go out and pick a whole bag, put it in the pot, boil it, and use it. But how should it be used in a safe manner that does not negatively impact the concentration of the breast milk? That's not something that we can answer this morning. We might have to contact a herbalist to find out that one.
Yes, but you always know that we try to just do the natural things. But yes, we know of the vervine that it will work about 3 to 5 leaves. You put in a liter of water and you drink throughout the day.
All right.
Right? But yeah.
And in terms of, now this is not just for women, because men, you have to also be able to support your wife or your girlfriend through this journey. And she said something that was extremely important. When women are, at their most comfortable state, and we know that after having a baby, women oftentimes experience some level, maybe on a spectrum, they may experience some level of postpartum depression, or just the natural effects of postpartum in itself, that the body goes through as you try to regulate your emotions and your hormones. So men, you have to create that environment, or try your best to make sure that she is within, that comfortable state of mind to produce breast milk. Now, you said by putting the baby on the breast, that also helps to generate that milk. But does the breast pumping also have the same effect? Let's say, for instance, baby is sleeping, you can now be pumping so that you can keep that milk supply going. Because I know that that's something that I would have done personally.
Yeah.
To keep the breast milk supply going, I would have breastfed, but also use the pump.
Yeah, so we encourage mothers to express, because when you express your breast milk, then you have a relative, a family member, a friend that could assist you, provide support, and feed baby while you get some rest, you get some me time, So yes, we encourage expressing of breast milk and someone else feed. We encourage expressing, especially between 12 midnight and 3 a.m. is when the milk supply is really high. So that is a good time to express breast milk. So we focus on expression and storage, because expression is one thing, but storing the breast milk correctly and then preparing it for use for baby is another thing. So we cover all of that: expression, storage, and preparing the milk.
I remember that was a very intricate part of the details that I received when I was being trained that first week after having the baby. And I would have had the baby in the Netherlands, so usually they send a caretaker to your home for 1 week, and that person would train you with everything: breastfeeding, feeding, cleaning, everything with the baby. And she would have informed me that the breast milk can only stay out 1 hour on the counter after being expressed. And I think it was maybe like a day or so in the regular compartment in the fridge, and then it can stay for months in the freezer. So what is the actual time period between expressing the milk, leaving it out on the counter, keeping it stored in the fridge, and then moving on to the freezer?
Okay, so based on from WHO and PAHO, they recommend that once breast milk is expressed, it could stay at room temperature 4 to 6 hours, maximum 6 hours. So just on the counter, and whether the environment is cool. If it's extremely hot, you'll go down to 4 hours, right? So stay on the counter that. So if it goes into the fridge, where the water, your juice, your butter, your eggs, cheese, that could stay there for 1 week.
Okay.
And then in the freezer compartment, the top part of the door, on the top part of the freezer, right, that could stay there for 3 to 6 months. And in the big deep freeze that you'll hardly ever go into, 8 to 12 months, maximum 12 months. But of course, you label your breast milk with a date and a time, because you do a first in, first out process. The milk that you express first, you'll use that first, and then, so you could even pack and store the fridge like that. Right. And we're using the back of the fridge rather than the fridge door. The back of the fridge is
something interesting that I learned from social media. Sometimes we have to filter social media information. But what I learned is that the breast milk that is expressed in the morning is totally different from the one that is expressed at night.
Yes.
So the one that might be expressed at night may help the baby to sleep a little bit more.
Because of the melatonin.
Yeah, exactly. As opposed to in the morning. So I guess that is what makes it so important to label when exactly the time that you would have pumped, so that in the morning when you wake up, you're not gonna give the baby maybe some nighttime breast milk and have them sleeping, out throughout the day. So now when it comes to breast milk supply and breastfeeding, the truth of the matter is everyone cannot breastfeed, but we want the persons who can breastfeed to breastfeed and try doing that exclusively if they can for the first 6 months. But in the cases where women cannot breastfeed, do we have the facility in Tobago where women can donate breast milk?
No, we don't have that service as yet. It's practiced in Brazil, and there are talks about bringing a breast milk bank, you call it, in Trinidad. But it will be a whole cultural shift, right? But not as yet. Not as yet.
I see it happening a lot in the United States as well, where women are able to, donate milk to mothers who may be cancer patients or whatever diseases or any kind of health condition that may, prohibit them from being able to breastfeed.
But long ago we used to have these nurses called wet nurses. So what will happen is if you have a challenge with breastfeeding, you send your baby down to the neighbor who producing breast milk to that neighbor to lactate, to breastfeed your baby. So we had wet nurses long ago, but because of the culture and because of diseases and all of these things, then we don't see that as much.
Okay. And I know that not even too long ago, sometimes within a household, siblings would breastfeed their siblings' kids, and that's still happening, So is that something that is encouraged to be done in the most sanitized way, or is that something to stay away from?
We encourage it because, breast milk is a living tissue that promotes the optimal growth and development for the baby. So we encourage it once everything is okay, sterile, clean conditions and stuff. Yes, we encourage it because the aim is to get the baby to breastfeed and to get that milk for the optimal growth and development.
All right. Excellent. Now we're going to take a quick break right here and we're going to be back right after this. See you soon, guys.
The energy fill the skies. I say thanks a favor to wake up and hear my neighbor. 60,000 people strong.
Oh yeah! I said I can't wait for Tobago in October.
Embark on an adventure to the greatest little island on the planet. Tobago invites you to ritual, revelry, and release.
Whining in the Bago sun, having Bago fun, and Bago drinking rum. We go jump up and carry on.
From October 25th to the 27th, 2024, experience the energetic vibe, the vibrant colors, and the unforgettable spirit of the Tobago Carnival.
Down here in Tobago.
Whether you're chipping down the road or marveling at the beauty and creativity of our artisans, Tobago Carnival is an adventure.
I said I wait and I wait and I wait and I wait for Carnival to come. So I call all my friends, making my plans for the Tobago Carnival fun.
Join us for ritual, revelry, and release. Tobago Carnival 2024, where every moment is memorable.
I said I can't wait for Tobago in October.
Welcome to the Magdalena Grand Beach and Golf Resort, where we will be hosting the very first annual CM Golf Academy Charity Golf Tournament. Some of the proceeds from this tournament will be going to my childhood school, the Montgomery Government School, and our neighboring school, the Boko Government School, where we will be assisting students in various needs. We'll be having players from all over the globe, friends from Canada, Barbados, and also here in Tobago and from Trinidad, and few friends from America as well. So you can come here in the land of sea, sun, and sun, and come and have some fun with us here in Plantation.
Said I'm falling, falling, I'm falling. As I lay in my bed with my head to the ceiling. Say I'm drowning alone and I'm lost in my feelings. Somebody send me a sign, cause you know that I need it. Carnival, come back to me, cause you know you're my healing. I said this soca is my therapy, my therapy. It take away all of my anxiety, my remedy. I tell you that we all need love. Jump up and show me love, wind up and show me love. Together say we
Good morning and welcome back to Good Morning Tobago. I am your host Chanel Felix, and this morning we have been chatting with the ladies of the TRHA regarding breastfeeding, and we spoke a lot about that, but we're going to talk a bit about breastfeeding while being sick. A lot of mothers, especially new moms or first-time moms, tend to not want to engage in breastfeeding when they're sick because of fear that they, would transmit whatever sickness it is that they're having, specifically the flu, to the baby. What are the recommendations for breastfeeding while being sick? Just wanna.
We encourage breastfeeding even if you are not well, have the flu. Now, one of the things we know of is that breastfeeding has antibodies. So the mother naturally passes on the antibodies onto her baby. So the baby is building immunity, right? So once she's okay, once she's not down in bed, we recommend that she continues to breastfeed. We also recommend that she express the milk and she can give the baby the milk. If the baby gets the cold, it means that the baby starts building immunity. So the next time around, that baby, he may have the cold, the baby will have the cold, but it wouldn't take the baby down. So the baby is strong enough, the baby rebounds quickly, right, with the breast milk. The mommy is passing on immunity onto the baby. So we do recommend. There are very few areas where we recommend not breastfeeding babies, right? And now can I go into the HIV part aspect of it?
Yes, you can.
Even if you are HIV positive, you can breastfeed, but there are criteria.
Okay.
The criteria is for HIV positive mother is that her viral load must be undetected and she must be on her medication,
Okay.
right? Taking the medication round the clock, compliant with her medication, right? She is educated about the breastfeeding and all of that, and she's encouraged to breastfeed exclusively for 6 months. So she can't go and mix feed. For example, one day she's breastfeeding and next day she goes to the formula. She has to continue to breastfeed exclusively for 6 months. So that is the aspect with the the HIV positive mothers. However, if the viral load is detectable, we encourage her not to breastfeed because HIV could pass on to the baby, right? If the virus, the viral load is high. right?
Okay. Well, thank you for that. That's new information. Well, for me particularly, and I'm guessing for a lot of our viewers, because we have traditionally been taught that women with HIV cannot breastfeed. So this is great information to know that as long as your viral load is undetectable, which can be done through consistent use of the medication, that they can also breastfeed and live life like a normal mom can. Now, one of the stresses that come with being a new mom, whether you have had kids before or you're a first-time mother, is the idea of going back out to work after having a baby. And one of those stresses that continue to linger on our mind is, breastfeeding or breast pumping while being in work. And what we notice is that a lot of workspaces are not breast pumping friendly, right? Although there is the legal requirement for your employer to allow you, I believe it's half an hour to an hour during the day to breastfeed. But even though that time is allotted, the space is not allotted. So you find some women leave work, go home, or I remember within my first 2 to 3 months after I was leaving work earlier than usual, because by that time in the evening, my breasts were fully engorged and I really needed to go. It was painful at that point. Even though I would have expressed in the morning at work, by the time it's like 2, 3 o'clock, the pain is almost unbearable. So what is being done to advocate for the appropriate spaces to be provided in the workspace to allow for women to comfortably come back out to work and be able to, express that breast milk in an appropriate, comfortable environment? I had persons tell me go to the bathroom. I was like, what? Are you in your right mind? I'm not going to the bathroom to breastfeed. So what are your recommendations?
Well, with last year's theme talked about providing the space for mommy to breastfeed or express breast milk. So with that going forward, the Ministry of Health, they started the initiative and they created a space within the Ministry of Health office in Port of Spain for moms to go and express breast milk during the day. So they're passing that mantra on and they're asking business places to provide a space for moms where they can express breast milk safely, because we have moms saying that sometimes they have to go in the washroom and that is not sanitary. Or they have a space and then everybody's barging in.
Because sometimes they might tell you to use the lunchroom. But you're in there and you're breastfeeding and every 5 seconds somebody's coming in. So for me, I would have worn clothes that would have allowed me to use wireless pump that you can put in your bra. And you could go about the day and you have a breast pump there. But the truth of the matter is, where in Tobago are you going to walk into a store and find a wireless breast pump? It's not something that's readily available to the average citizen. Now, if someone has the ability to travel or to import, they would be able to have access to that, but it is also costly. So the average person or the average young mom, someone who just started off their career, might not be able to afford one of those, high-tech wireless pumps. So the onus is on the employer to create spaces to allow for women to comfortably, safely, express breast milk.
Yes, I agree. And this is what the theme of this year speaks to: closing the gap and supporting breastfeeding for all. So this comes with the family members. So what we will notice is that when the mothers leave the hospital, about 88% of the mothers leaving the Scarborough General Hospital exclusively breastfed. However, when they're at home, we notice that the numbers go down. So the exclusive breastfeeding rate, they start feeding the baby supplements, giving baby supplements. By the time 2 months, we realize that 80% is almost slashed to half, 40%. And then by the time 6 months, it slashes to only 20%. And when we ask mothers, we realize that the family plays a critical role. So the support is critical. Closing the gap We need to close that gap between that time of leaving the hospital and that 6 months period. So that has to do with where we play, where we sleep, where we do work, right? And where we recreate. So all these areas must be provided space so that mothers are comfortable to go and express, right? Closing the gap. We speak of the healthcare worker. We speak of the health institutions, both public and private, providing the spaces, the supportive environment for mothers to really go and have comfortable spaces where they could express their milk.
I remember at about 7 months, one of my friends, probably called, and I was breastfeeding. And she was like, "You still breastfeeding after 6 months? What a breast have in it,
Nutrients.
what does that breast currently have that could even supply anything to the baby?" And I was like, "Sis, you breastfeed until you feel like you don't want to breastfeed anymore, but there's no time to say, okay, well, no, there's no longer the type of nutrients that the baby need." I mean, yes, baby is transitioning to solid foods, but there still is the natural nutrition that comes from
Yes.
breastfeeding. So a lot of persons have ideas that, okay, after 6 months, you no longer need to breastfeed because the breast milk is so light and it's so watery, and, baby needs something more filling to sleep for a longer period during the night, or just to hold them out for longer. How do we understand the time frame within which a mom should continue or stop breastfeeding?
So one of the things that we need to know is some of the benefits. Breastfeeding is very beneficial to the babies, the mother, and the society. So you need to tell them that best breastfeeding is the best nutrient, ideal nutrient for your baby to have optimal growth and development. Babies who are exclusively breastfed have a higher IQ, right? We have the reduction of obesity and childhood diseases. We have the research has shown where it reduces breast cancers in mothers, ovarian and breast cancers in mothers. For the society, it is economically safe. It is cheaper for the mother, right? If you have a breastfeeding mother, it would mean that your baby is less sick. So you have more productivity in work. So that mother is coming to work all the time. She don't have to go to the hospital because her baby is not well. So we have a lot of benefits to the institution, to the mother itself, to the society, to the family, and to generally everybody. So we need to say that to that woman or that person who is asking about how long you should breastfeed the baby. So it provides all the nutrients, right? Decrease asthma and decrease rashes and all of these things. Additionally, WHO recommends 6 months exclusively. And after 6 months, we continue breastfeeding, but we want to complement with solid food at this point in time. It goes up to 2 years and beyond. Now, one of the things is breastfeeding bond. You are able to bond with your baby. And if we have more breastfeeding, I think that we would have more love in the country.
Okay.
Because a baby, when you look at your baby breastfeeding, there's a connection and there's a bond. Nobody could give your baby that bond and that connection.
Right.
So you know of your mother's love. So you wouldn't just go out the road and shoot down somebody because you know of love.
Understood. But when it comes to the culture and the mentality behind breastfeeding in public, now we see more women being, brave enough to just pull out the boob anywhere and breastfeed their baby, including myself. Before, you would have heard people say, cover up, put something over your breast, don't expose yourself while you're breastfeeding. But the culture is shifting. So people are, more confident to breastfeed publicly.
Exactly.
And we want to encourage women to breastfeed publicly because it is a natural occurrence, Sometimes you might just be in a random place, waiting in a waiting room and, a baby is fighting to pull out the boob. And some women are more cautious because, people are watching, but we want to encourage you to feed your baby. Right? Some people feel like, it may be more appropriate for them personally based on their religious beliefs or, based on their background to pump the milk and give it to baby in a bottle. If that works for you, I'm guessing, by all means. But there should be no shame connected to breastfeeding in public.
So once the public is aware of the benefits. So once they are sensitized and they are aware of the benefits of breastfeeding, then they will be able to accept breastfeeding, right? And they wouldn't shun the mothers and say, why are you breastfeeding here? Or why you don't cover up your breasts? You understand? So we're having conversations about creating lactation pods. So lactation pods, you'll see them away in the United States, probably in like the large airports and in the malls and some work areas like big work complex. That is a small area where mommy will safely go in, just have a chair, a table, a sink to wash your hands, and mommy could go in there and breastfeed baby. Or you could go in there and express breast milk. So we're having conversations about having lactation pods in different areas. So that
well, that's good that you brought that up, because I was wondering, because with a number of these buildings, whether it be government or private, corporate workspaces, or, you know, some persons work in retail, the building that they are in just doesn't have the space for it. Sometimes they are fighting for storage for their own equipment, or just, you know, for the business itself. So in that case, what can employers do to support mommy? Is it that they should send her away to go to a place that she deems safe and comfortable to come back? What can the employer do to assist in a situation where, you know, there just isn't the space at the business to facilitate?
So that's why the lactation pods, they are mobile. You can create them mobile so that they can move. You put them on wheels and you could just carry them to one area to another area, right? If they don't have the physical structure within the building to create, because it's just a small space, just a chair, a table, a sink for mommy to wash her hands. Yeah, so that mommy could be comfortable and could breastfeed or express.
Right. So is this something that the TRHA is working on?
We're having conversations. We're hoping sometime in the near future they will look into that.
So you spoke about the breast pump, the portable ones. Mothers could invest in it. When you think about the cost of the formula, and how much the baby will have to drink, we could invest. Is a good investment, right? Also, the industrial relation allows for paid leave for mothers to go and breastfeed. So time during their work time, they're allowed some time to go and express and breastfeed.
So it's important for women to know their rights.
Yes, and we want to challenge the all the ministries, because breastfeeding wouldn't be only the health. It wouldn't be health. We have health for all. So you have to put it in all the different institutions, because we know that we are in a woman-dominated environment. Most of the women are, childbearing age. So we need to provide for them, because at the end of the day, breastfeeding too decreases all the illnesses. We have a healthier society. So we want to nurture that kind of environment where mothers could, they are encouraged to breastfeed, and we provide that space that they could really feel safe and breastfeed.
All right.
Right.
And so that's a great recommendation for moms to invest in those portable wireless pumps that you can just put in your bra while you're going about. I mean, that doesn't mean that you have to work while you're breastfeeding, but just it's a lot more private.
Yes, we have had mothers who have had who've been breastfeeding or expressing while working. Yeah, we have had that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But we're just making sure you know that you do have that time to take to specifically breastfeed. But if you are in a situation where you have to work while you're breastfeeding, that is probably the best means of doing so. Now we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to be back right after this as we continue our conversation on breastfeeding for World Breastfeeding Week. See you soon.
Go in. You have to stop it. You have to stop it.
Welcome to my kitchen, guys.
You have to stop it every month.
That's it. That's the intro. Let's do it one more time, right?
This is how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show, and everybody's gonna know. Say it to them once again. They better look up below. This is your show, and everybody's gonna know. That's how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show.
Are you ready to optimize your wedding business for engagement season and book more clients? Refine is the place to be. Refine, the Wedding Business Summit. Saturday, 14th September 2024 from 9 a.m. Pigeon Point Heritage Park, Tobago. This premier event is designed specifically for Caribbean wedding industry professionals. Gain expert insights, practical knowledge, and valuable connections that can help you thrive in the destination wedding market. Register now at refinesummit.com. It is time to refine. Refine, the Wedding Business Summit. Get insider info, advice, and insights from local, regional, and international players in the destination wedding market. Refine, the Wedding Business Summit. Saturday, 14th September 2024, Pigeon Point Heritage Park, Tobago. It's time to refine.
Good morning, and welcome back to Good Morning Tobago right here on Tobago Updates. Now, we have been chatting this morning with the lovely women from the TRHA, Mrs. Akila Makachi Alfred, as well as Mrs. Deborah Cook Warner, and we have been talking about liquid gold or breast milk. And this morning we are encouraging women to continue to breastfeed for as long as they possibly can, but to exclusively breastfeed as long as it is humanly possible. Exclusively breastfeed for that first 6 months. Now, we know that this week we are celebrating World Breastfeeding Week, and the TRHA is having a number of activities that's happening to promote this. Now, on this Saturday, they are having that awareness walk in collaboration with the Breastfeeding Association of Trinidad and Tobago. Now, Ms. Alfred, please tell us a bit more about the walk that's happening on Saturday.
Okay, so the walk is done annually by Trinidad and Tobago Breastfeeding Association. So they normally conduct a walk in Trinidad and they'll come to Tobago and conduct a walk. So they are a non-profitable organization that we collab with them, or they collab with us, right? So we normally run a best breastfed, or they will normally run a breastfed competition, and we assist them. So we go to the different communities and we interview the mommies and we see the babies. So we have, there's a criteria. So we're looking at exclusively breastfed for the first 6 months. We look at babies' skin and integrity of the skin. We look at babies' immunization, if this is up to date. We look and see how babies plotting on the growth chart, if it is within WHO standard. We also talk to the mommies to find out how much information they have on breastfeeding and if they could advocate for other mothers. So if they can, again, we say provide support for other mothers who are breastfeeding. Yes.
And Mrs. Warner, what are the other activities that the TRHA would be having this week for the breastfeeding awareness?
So one of the things with the Breastfeeding Week is really to bring awareness and educate mothers, educate the entire society. Is a global activity. about the benefits of breastfeeding so that we would ultimately have an increase in the breastfeeding rates, right? For this year, next year, 2025, we want to take the breastfeeding rate to 50% according to WHO standards. So the RHA, the staff, we would be going to the different health centers, would be visiting various offices to just educate the staff about the importance of breastfeeding and the importance of creating spaces so that mothers could have that environment where they could feel free and safe to exclusively breastfeed.
Right. And there are myths that surround breastfeeding. I would have touched on it a bit earlier. Like some persons feel as though once the baby is getting to a certain stage, maybe passing that 6 months mark, that the breast milk is now too thin and not sustainable for the baby to stay full for a particular period. And there are persons who would do a lot of things to supplement because of this. What do you recommend, and what is the right thing or the fact as opposed to the myth?
Okay, so after a baby is completely successfully exclusively breastfed for 6 months, at 6 months the baby is now doing much more stuff than he or she was doing before 6 months. So they're now active, they're getting ready to creep and walk and stuff. So at this point in time, we encourage them to supplement. So we take out one of the food, we complement with a solid food, right? We encourage the first food we will try to give them is like a rice cereal, a single grain cereal. So we test them out with a single grain cereal, rice cereal, and we add it with the breast milk. So at this point in time, you're not going to look for the best formula on the shelf. You're continuing the breastfeeding, right? So you're adding breast milk with whatever you are giving the baby. And gradually you introduce solid foods to the baby. But you continue breastfeeding because breast milk still has some nutrients, a lot of nutrients, which would be beneficial to the baby at this point in time.
Right.
And also we know that the breast milk change to meet the needs of the growing baby. So as baby grow and develop, then the content of the fat will increase, or the content of the protein, or whatever that baby needs for the energy and thing, it will increase and decrease to meet the needs of the growing baby. So that's what they have to understand as well, the content of the breast milk and how it changes as baby grows.
Excellent. Now, there are also other myths that are more cosmetic, or surface level, as we would say, very, based in vanity. And a lot of women who feel like, okay, well, the longer I breastfeed, the more deformed my breast and deflated my breast would become. So what are the facts surrounding, women trying to maintain, the shape of their breasts by deciding to cut short that breastfeeding period? Some persons decide, okay, I'm not going to breastfeed, I'm just going to exclusively pump. While others decide, okay, 6 months mark, I reach the 6 months mark, I'm done with the breastfeeding, because they're trying to maintain the shape of the breast. Tell us a bit about the facts surrounding that.
And the thing is, it's a choice as well. Breastfeeding is a choice. So there are mothers who definitely will say, no, I'm not breastfeeding because I don't want my breast to hang. But if you think about it, all these stars, the superstar Rihanna, you saw the picture with Rihanna, she was breastfeeding, right? So one of the things we encourage is to wear supportive bra, right? You could pump, yes, but once you finish breastfeeding, the breast returns to its normal size and its normal shape. One of the things is, though, as women, as we grow older, the breast will lose its elasticity. So even if you didn't breastfeed or you breastfeed, it may just fall a little bit, because it loses, that elasticity, right? But we try to encourage them to breastfeed, wear supportive bra.
And we try to encourage men to move away from that vanity way of thinking, because that totally affects how women see themselves. A lot of women are not breastfeeding for themselves, but because they feel like in order to maintain that physical attraction with their partner or for future partners, that they should, do that. I mean, a lot of women even resort to, going through different cosmetic surgical procedures to, you know, try to bring back that, you know, pre-baby breast firmness. But I mean, again, that is a personal choice. And, you know, there's no shame in doing what a woman thinks is best for herself and her own self-esteem, but it should never be rooted in how you are being seen by someone else, i.e. a man who is not really a man, but clearly a boy, because he doesn't understand that this is how the woman body naturally develops over time. But before we go, the onus this year is to really encourage employers to make provisions for women who are breastfeeding. And so talk to the employers and the supervisors and managers to make the provision for women who are under your supervision or your care while they are working with you to have that space and the opportunity to breastfeed.
So we want to challenge the employers to provide that space. No big space, is just a little area where you have a little fridge, somewhere comfortable, a chair to sit on, a little fridge, a sink where they could wash their hands, and the fridge if they express the milk, that they could store the milk until they're ready to take it at home. So we want to challenge the employers, right? Starting with the public sector and even onto the private sector. All spheres, even where we go to the playing fields, little areas, the airport, the hospitals. Well, we have some areas in the hospital where you could breastfeed, and different areas. We want to challenge the Ministry of Health and the THA to really work towards supporting these mothers so that we will have a healthier society.
Right. And even bringing that into legislation to allow it to be law for employers to provide not only the time, but the space.
Yes.
Now, breastfeeding is extremely important, and there's no shame to the women who physically cannot breastfeed. But if you can, you definitely should, because it is the best form of nutrition for your baby. And this conversation this morning was quite hearty, and I want to thank you ladies for coming on. You know, me particularly being a new mom, I really enjoyed this discourse, and I hope that our audience this morning, though maybe a different target group, we really thank you for joining us. We thank you for being a part of this discussion. And if you have any tips or tricks, you know, regarding breastfeeding, you can put it in the comment for another breastfeeding mom to see. And you can always send this a live video to someone who you know is breastfeeding or would be breastfeeding very, very soon. Guys, we want to thank you so much for joining the conversation this morning. Thank you for your likes, your shares, and your comments. And thank you for all that you have been doing to make Tobago Updates the #1 broadcaster here on the island of Tobago. Again, I say thank you, and I hope to see you soon. Have a great day, guys.
Strong, and the vibes is never wrong. We are beauty, we are power. We are people in the sun. We are beaches, we are rivers. We are melanated ones. We special and there is no denying. Tobago is #1. I am you and you are me. Together we're stronger.
Last year, October 2023, the island tilted. The peaceful bliss of sea, sun, and sand was transcended as we took to the streets to revel in paradise.
We love Tobago Carnival! Tobago! It's such a nice place!
Tobago Carnival right here, we're not leaving till we go right down.
It's the greatest, it's the best, it's safe, and it's beautiful.
I love Tobago, baby. Coming back next year. Hey!
Playing pan on the streets is a magical experience. When the band strike up, is rhythm, steel, and powder. This is Tobago Carnival, pan in paradise.
Tobago is the best.
Tobago Carnival is the new home for the legend of Calypso. Where else can you get sweet Calypso music that gives you that nostalgic feeling?
Soca Titans is we title, is we monarch. We built artists from scratch who can perform with the best. Real titans of soca.
When last you've been to a party, plenty women looking so nice. We must be in paradise.
This year, ritual takes on new space and dimension. Traditions will be reimagined, breaking free and taking on new meaning on the road.
I love the energy!
This year, the revelry is bigger and better. More colors, more meaning, great packages for the masqueraders. Tobago Carnival is freedom.
This year promoting safety in all events for Tobago Carnival. This year promoting whining, not minding people business. This year promoting clean fun, security and freedom.
Freedom to be any version of yourself that you choose to be with love and safety. Here, you have permission to be you, uninhibited and free.
So what you waiting on? This year, this October 2024, experience the ritual, revel in paradise, release yourself. From the greatest little island on the planet, this is the Tobago Carnival 2024.